Pep, what's your reflection on that victory and how it came about?
We didn't play good in the first half, maybe because I say thank you for the effort to Joao playing not his position and Rodri not even in his position, but we decided to put a line-up. We could adapt with the players that are on the pitch. If they decide to play 5 in the back, play a little bit differently. And then the second half was miles much better in all departments, and we fought incredible, and it was a big result for us, of course.
Was it more than just a personnel change that you made? Also, was there a change in the way they're actually playing too?
Well, the last games, Rico has the ability to make his mate play better. So there are players that play for himself really good, but he has the ability to make all the team play better. Because every moment he does, he knows exactly when he has to go open inside and what he has to do. So playing the level he played in Chelsea Carabao Cup, especially Leeds, Liverpool, and today again, he changed the game. Of course, Manu was really good. I'm happy that Kyle, he finished the first half really good after a long time. But yeah, good victory for us.
When you make a double sub at half time, did you already have in your mind, I might make another double sub quickly too?
Yeah, Riyad I want to put it in the first half because I'm so sorry for Joao because he struggled playing his position, but I thought the space will be there. He's good at 1-on-1 in the final third. And I thought Riyad make his quick. But after, for example, second half when Bernardo was better, substitution, but after, there are players that needs, after World Cup, needs to still to come back in best form, and hopefully in a few games, next games are going to happen.
What would you say about John Stones' form tonight?
He played an extraordinary World Cup. John can adapt perfectly in the build-up with 3, wider, has the calm, the composure. He's playing the best level. Listen, it was maybe the first sign 7 years ago when we arrived together, and he is stable here, and his mood is good. He's a fantastic player.
Jack Grealish is lauded for his ability to hold the ball, to dribble with the ball, but was it his cleverness, first-time ball, that made the goal?
Yeah, he did twice with Haaland in Leeds, and today again. So yeah, he always came in because his body language is exceptional. When he plays, he doesn't play, always is positive. He's incredibly beloved. And when you are like this and don't have regrets or something, the people believe is something weird, this type of guys always play good. And his contribution was amazing, not just with the ball defensively in one position in the second post. He was there in the position to defend there inside. So yeah, he was really good.
What's the biggest thing you think you take out of tonight? Is it, the obvious answer is the 3 points to take you closer to Arsenal.
Well, we struggled a lot in the first half. It was sloppy, it was slow, it was not with rhythm. And in the second half was much better for the minute 1. And this is what I said many times. We want to lose in this way. Not win. We are closer to win, but we have to lose in this way. Be ourselves. In the first half, we struggle a little bit.
And the importance of the 3 points?
Yeah, better than don't have 3 points. Yeah, definitely.
I know there's a lot of football to go, but because of the intensity, even at half-time, you obviously want to win the game. But are you aware we've got to come away with 3 points here?
The players know it. So for a long time, we are there at top, close. So we have an opponent right now, like I've done fantastic, but we try. So now is okay, FA Cup again, Carabao Cup, and Old Trafford. A big challenge for us, but important. Start these 3 Premier League games. Stamford Bridge, Old Trafford, at home against Spurs. So start to winning is so important for our mood and our confidence, and being close for the top of the league, Arsenal.
Thanks, Pep.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, of course, next up it's Chelsea again in the FA Cup on Sunday for Manchester City. They've already beaten them in the League Cup as well. Riyad Mahrez scored in that game as well, and the next Premier League game is at Old Trafford in the derby. Big games wherever you look. What did you make of his interpretation between the first half and the second half for City there?
Yeah, it's a good assessment. He's spot on. The second half was night and day compared to the first half. Everything was too slow. They didn't get at Chelsea enough. Rico Lewis, he mentions, only 18 years of age. came on and changed the game, and that's a big statement. You think of the superstars that they have at Manchester City, and this young kid's come off the bench, and Glenn's already mentioned played more in midfield with the ball, and maybe went into a back four without the ball, but he was superb. And of course the other two subjects, Mahrez and of course Jack Grealish, you know, they're game changers. That's when you've got this squad of players. Glenn mentioned about the squad of players that Man City have. That's why they're champions, because Pep can look over his shoulder and goes, who can change the game for me? And Mahrez again, you know, he pops up with a really important goal.
What about the timing though, from a managerial point of view? Because Shay was having a moan up earlier on, saying sometimes he feels Pep doesn't go early enough, given the options he's got.
I think most of the time when Pep's having to make substitutions, he's 9 times out of 10 in control of the game, so he can choose. I think he knew they weren't at it first half, and so he's had to make them very, very much earlier in the game. And my word, were they decisive. But putting Lewis in the centre of midfield, then freed up De Bruyne, I think that's a fantastic evening's work for Pep, because not only tactical and whatever, but you've got, I said before the game, De Bruyne and Haaland, when they're together and they're playing on song, both of them didn't turn up first half. So you've got a part of their spine not playing anywhere near their best. And normally you're saying, well, one of them or both of them playing together, City win. And then suddenly he's still, without them really outstanding tonight, he's turned the team have turned it round, from the subs coming on with the young lad Lewis going in that central position. Then De Bruyne went much higher up the pitch, so they occupied the back four of Chelsea much more second half, and then suddenly had all the options that they had. When Mahrez came on and Grealish came on, they had real genuine wingers. Cancelo did okay against Cucurella the first half, but then Mahrez is a genuine winger. Grealish knows how to play that role. So suddenly the team fell into place without their two talisman, really.
And those two, Michael, incredibly, took less than 4 minutes to combine for what was the winning goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's an absolute dream, isn't it, as a manager, when you make a substitution like this, and then straight away, not one but two combine for the goal, and it was a very good goal as well. You know, one touch. A lot of people will criticise Jack Grealish for taking too many touches sometimes, but this was absolutely brilliant in terms of spotting the run, seeing the space, and playing it first time as a centre forward, as an attacking player. You want early crosses into the pit, into the box. We'll look at the goalkeeper shortly. We'll look at the Cucurella shortly. But from an attacking point of view, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. One winger to the other. We spoke about it before the game, actually, from Chelsea's point of view. That's what they've been failing to do a lot this year.
Right, Shay Given.
Go on, Shay. Take it away.
Kepa.
Yeah.
Keepers Union.
I don't want to take any away from the assist off Jack or the finish off Mahrez. But
Kepa. What's your view?
He's got to just block it out. I mean, you know, people would say get a touch, and I think he can catch that. I think if he just dives square to the ball, he makes
What's
an
he
easy
thinking?
save. I don't know, unless he thinks Haaland or somebody's coming in his eye line, he's too square onto the ball, he needs to open his left shoulder. But for me, if he's in the right position and he's set, his feet are set, he just dives and he takes that ball in.
Shay, do you think his base was too wide? His feet are too wide, he had nowhere to go.
When he went wide, I think he must have thought someone was coming in. As a goalkeeper, you got his scan as well.
You know, like when you make a good save, you move your feet first to get across.
Yeah.
His feet were so wide, he couldn't go anywhere, he couldn't manoeuvre himself.
He just got to dive.
Whereas if he's got to dive on it. And I don't think he can, because his feet are too wide. If his feet are together a little bit, you can go much easier.
But he's in a good position there, and then he opens his left foot, and he doesn't fancy it. He's looking at that, he doesn't fancy it.
He's almost looking at the ball going past him before it's almost like he's accepted that ball's going past him.
What do you mean doesn't fancy it? What's the interpretation of that from a goalkeeper's point of view?
He doesn't fancy it, maybe making a mistake,
hurt,
or maybe making a mistake. Maybe I think he can catch it, but maybe he thinks if I palm it out, Haaland's going to have a tap in. You know, maybe people look at me, so maybe he steps away from it in the sense that I'll let my defence play safe. Maybe I'll let my defence deal with it. It's nothing to do with me. But for me, if I was the goalkeeping coach tomorrow, I'd be saying you should be cutting that out. But take nothing away from the assist off Jack. Brilliant.
Well, absolutely, because he's waiting to talk to us, Shay. So you can't take the assist off Jack. He's live at Stamford Bridge. Jack Grealish, great to see you. What an introduction that was for you and Riyad Mahrez tonight.
Was Shay just trying to take my assist?
He was, yeah.
Jack, can I just say something? He said, talk me through the goalkeeper, and I seen you in the backdrop. And I did say before you got the headphones on, a brilliant assist. Did he?
Did you?
Hello, guys. What did you say? Sorry, what was the question?
That was some entrance from you and Mahrez.
Yeah, obviously, you know, the game was. I was just saying then, you know, it was one of them games where, especially recently, you know, we've played against teams that have, you know, had a back five and sat in against us. But you know, just watching on from the bench, you know, in the first half, I felt like there was a lot of space, you know, especially for the wingers. And me and Riyad, you know, when we was warming up, was saying to each other, you know, we was itching to get on and yeah, luckily, obviously, we come on, you know, and I got the assist and Riyad got the goal. You know, that's what the manager wanted for us. So yeah, no, happy days.
And the early delivery from you, the boys were saying here, was so important. You didn't take a touch, you saw him straight away.
No, do you know what? As I've hit it, the first person I'm thinking that Erling's got to be in there somewhere. I didn't actually think for Riyad, but obviously, you know, when you're playing with a striker like Erling, you just put it in the areas, you know, because you think he's going to be there. And I just says to him in the change room, I says, "Where was you?" And he says to me, he says, because everyone went obviously towards, like, obviously the keeper, all the defenders and stuff. He pulled back. But yeah, luckily, you know, I put it in the area and obviously, you know, an easy tap in for Riyad.
Pep mentioned in his interview there, Jack, about how upbeat you've been and stuff. You obviously started the last couple of games and then you were left out tonight, so that must be hugely disappointing. But he said you've been super bubbly and positive, and I turned around, I know Jack's ready to go, I know he's ready to play, and that's a great strength of yours. You just want to play football.
Yeah, no, of course, you know, all I want to do is play football, but you know, I know with the talent here, you're not going to play every single game. And yeah, to be honest, he actually told Riyad to go and warm up and not me, so I've obviously gone to warm up thinking that I'm not really going to come on, and then all of a sudden Riyad's just tapped me and says, "Come on, we're both going on." So yeah, no, I was ready to play tonight. You know, I've obviously started the last couple of games, and yeah, you know, that's what I want to do, like I've done tonight. You know, contribute with goals and assists. So yeah, the main thing tonight though was the 3 points.
Jack, you mentioned wanting to play football all the time, and of course we've seen you for years and years and years basically being a one-man team at Aston Villa. How can you get your head around then, whether it's with England, whether it's Manchester City, then there's lots of great players like yourself and you sort of got to share that load. Is that hard to get around mentally?
Yeah, do you know what? It's so much different to what I thought. You know, I've been at Villa my whole life and I'd been stuck in, you know, at Villa with the same team. You know, I've had a few managers, and then I've obviously moved to Mancity, but I didn't think of the other side of it. I just thought, I'm going to play football. It's the same thing that I've done my whole life, but it's different, you know, going into a new changing room, new players, new manager, and trying to get used to it all. So honestly, it was so much more difficult than I thought. You know, you can imagine me going to City after being at Villa, you know, for all them years, thinking I'm going to go there now, get goals, assists, and it obviously hasn't been the case. You know, I still feel like I've played well in certain games, but you know what I want to do is contribute with goals and assists and win trophies here. So yeah, that's the main thing.
And finally, Jack, talking about how important was that result tonight to get that gap back to 5, even at this stage?
Yeah, no, it was massive. It was massive, honestly, and I think, you know, obviously everyone knows how hard of a place this is to come. And yeah, you know, we're chasing Arsenal down. You know, I don't want to go too much into that, but you know, it's what we know. Obviously, they're ahead of us at the moment. You know, playing well, but you know, we know if we can obviously win our games in hand and you know, just keep improving and keep playing as a team. We know that we'll be there or thereabouts.
Really well played tonight, and thanks so much for joining us.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Jack Grealish live from Stamford Bridge. Brilliant. Some brilliant answers there as well. And in terms of that gap, they know, don't they? They're hunting down here, City.
Yeah, and as I say, they've been there before, City, as players, as a manager, as staff. You know, I don't think there's any panic yet. You know, we're not even halfway there through the season. The gap's 5 points now. I think there's an excitement you can see in Jack's voice that was a massive 3 points tonight, and again, Arsenal will be moving a bit less comfortable staying the sofas at home tonight.
Okay, the other side of the story, of course, is another defeat for Chelsea. That's 6 all season, 1 win in 8 games. The last time they had an 8-game stretch with just 1 win was 10 years ago. Here's what Graham Potter thinks of it all.
Graham, obviously not the result you wanted it, but was it a much better performance?
Yes, yeah, it was. When you consider everything in terms of losing Raheem really early and then Christian as well. So I thought the lads gave everything. It was a spirited performance. We had some opportunities against obviously a top team. So apart from the result, which of course we never like to lose, I'm proud of the players in terms of everything they gave.
Injury-wise, you said to us before the game, it never rains but it pours. You must feel like you're in a downpour.
Yeah, it's tough at the moment. I must admit, and I feel for the boys, of course. So we have to stick together. It's one of those times. Disappointing to lose the guys, but the players that came in, the players that were on the pitch, gave everything, and that's all you can ask for.
Any idea how long those 2 injuries are?
No, not at this stage. Sorry.
On the goal, could you have done better in any areas?
Well, I thought we committed too many men a little bit too high to press them, and then I opened us up, and then you have to credit their quality. I think it was a good goal from their perspective, but I think we probably got caught a little bit in terms of Kepa and Mark thinking each other could have dealt with it, but it is what it is. The quality of the opponent's high, and in any goal you think you can do a little bit better, but like I said, the goal's the top goal from Manchester City's point of view.
There's also a huge difference in what they were available in terms of on their bench to what you have.
Yeah, but that's where we're at the moment. That's what I say. I mean, there's nothing to. It is what it is. As I said before, we can't complain about it. We have to just get on with it. The boys that were on the pitch gave everything tonight, and they did what we asked them to do. There was some spirit, there was some quality, there was some opportunities. Like I said, Manchester City don't give you much, but I thought we earned something from the game. But it is what it is.
Does it underline how short you are when Conor Gallagher is the senior man of the 3 subs coming on?
Yeah, I didn't realise that. Yeah, we had to freshen it up. I think we had to. You could tell that the boys had put in a shift, which is normal against Manchester City. But Lewis and Amari are young players that are just starting out, and Conor also I thought gave everything when he came on. So it's nice to have that personality from the bench.
You said just now we need to stick together. Is that very much a case of everybody at the club and the fans as well? Because you know the results are not what you want, or anybody wants indeed at the moment. But you're going through a transitional period. You've got a huge injury list as well, and you're trying to get players into the club. So how testing a time is this for you? And do you need patience, which is something you don't often get in football?
Well, you always have to take your responsibility, and when we're not playing well, you want to improve that and take that responsibility. But at the same time, you hope that people look at the whole context and put it into perspective and see exactly where we're at and exactly what we've been through and what we've had to deal with. But at the same time, emotions are high. That's how it is. You have to ride out any storm and try to stay level and keep the players going. Like I said, I think the crowd today appreciated the performance. I think they were behind the team. That they could see the team giving everything. So our supporters have been fantastic with us.
You've got one over the line, or a couple. Benoit Badiashile, what can you tell us about him?
Well, he's a young centre-back that's played a few games already. Physically really good, left-footed, which is a profile that we maybe haven't got so much. So he comes into the squad, and we're excited to work with him. Thanks, Graham. Thank you.
6 defeats for Chelsea this season, the same as all of last season. He was talking about Marc Cucurella's involvement potentially in the goal there. Shay, you felt that was an area of the pitch City were really getting joy with throughout the evening.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the poorest performances I've seen, Steve, as a left back. I don't know. He's not moving his feet. He's not defending well. I mean, they spent nearly £60 million on this guy, and I'm expecting so much more. And when you put your eyes on him, it's like, I don't know how to say it. The first thing as a fullback, stopped the cross into the box. First half, we said Cancelo done all right. Even moving back in, there's no urgency to get back into any sort of defensive shape. And then second half, we spoke about Mahrez. Pep must have thought, this Cucurella, because that's just shocking defending. He dives in, goes past him once, goes past him twice. It's like he's not there. It's like a schools player, underage player playing at left back. And when you spend that kind of money, Glenn, you're expecting a bit more.
Yeah, it's just diving in. It's the easiest thing for an attacker to go by anyone. You got to attach. When you get that sort of space and the winger's running out, you got to attach yourself to him. You don't dive in. It makes it easier. And a player like Mahrez will just go skip round you. This one here is where he's in a good position. He's seen him running, sees the danger, and he's got to see it out now. And he doesn't. He just hesitates there as if to say, oh, well, that ball won't come across. My word, it does. A good defender is always in his mind, he's got to say, what if? What if that ball comes across? I've got to be in a good position.
Yeah, just look at that with Cucurella on the pitch. As Graham said, Manchester City don't give you much. They had an opportunity with Thiago Silva at 0-0. And, of course, that late chance with the young boy Hall at 1-0.
Yeah, not much at all from Chelsea's point of view. When you look at it, 90 minutes of play at home, to only have that is not great from their point of view. I think Graham Potter will be wanting, a lot more going forward. I think the checkbook will come out. It's already come out, but a lot of the signings that they've signed recently have been defenders. They've spent an absolute fortune on defenders. By the looks of that today, they probably need more, but they need a little bit more going forward as well. Aubameyang came on after seconds, had no impact in the game. The one chance that he really needed was a through ball, and as we mentioned, Havertz didn't play the ball through in the first half, and that's what he's good at. This linking play and things like that is not really his game. He needs to be running onto balls, and there was one chance in the first half when he could have been let loose, but they were poor as a whole, especially from an attacking point of view.
If every unit that he looks at is not accomplished yet. He can't be happy with his midfield, really. He can't be happy with the attacking unit and the defensive unit. So Graham has got, I mean, he's very even killed, and he's that temperament anyway. But at the end of the day, you know, he's got to look at every unit of a pitch needs improving. Now, whether it's from the players like Eddie Howe has done at Newcastle, whether it's the players that he's already got, that buy into how he wants them to play, make them improve, or he's got to buy again. But at the moment, there's little weak links in every unit of the team, and that's a problem. If you can identify, well, if we get that midfield right, I think like Man United have done, they'd become a different animal. I just see Chelsea are floating at the moment, and they're just not quite precise in all the units of the pitch.
And those chances I was talking about in the second half, one of them was at 0-0, Thiago Silva.
Yeah, he was claiming for a corner, I think, Steve. But yeah, it's half a chance. I think they had a chance first half as well. He hit the post, but you know, I think he just gets enough. I think Rodri just gets close enough to put him off. And perhaps it was a corner, but I think if he hits the target here, you know, it's a goal. But as Michael said, like 2 or 3 chances in the course of a whole game at Stamford Bridge, that's a worry. You know, that's a worry. I don't know, can you keep spending and spending and spending? But look at Everton, for example. They spent 500 million and they're bottom of the league. I don't understand spending is the answer.
This was the 18-year-old Lewis Hall.
Yeah, I just think in this chance he was leaning back at the end, you know. I mean, he was still improving on Cucurella because he was having a shocker, to be honest. But, you know, he just leant back, I think, Glenn, there at the end.
I think he's got to hit the target.
Yeah, he's got to hit the target.
He's not under pressure there. Look, he's got himself in a great position. Touch is good. Now drill it. Have some belief. And it's tough for a young kid under pressure. The touch is perfect, look, and drill it. Bottom corner, he just leans back and really comes off the outside of his foot. And there are moments where Chelsea yesteryear would have put that in the back of the net and got a point out of the game because they had clinical players. They did lose the 2 players early, Sterling and Pulisic, let's be fair. And that's a massive problem to Graham. He's picked his team. As a manager, that's the last thing you want, especially the same position. If you have a midfield player or a defender and attack one unit come out, but two attacking players for you, then that is a massive blow to him, and he had to make quick subs.
1 win in 8 games.
Yeah, big pressure. I don't think they're going to stop spending, though. I think the board are going to keep backing their manager, and if it's not Graham Potter, then they'll keep backing the next person. I think there's a real eagerness to be champions at that club. It's not going to happen now, but it's going to happen in the future. It's whether Graham Potter's going to be there to see it out.